This is Diane Mourglia-Swerdlow welcoming you again to another podcast edition. But before we begin, I have a very interesting arrangement of things for you today. I want to tell you a little bit what I do when Stewart isn't here. Now, Stewart has what I call his zoo, because apparently Stewart was deprived of having animals when he was younger. And as you know, as an ex-farmer, I had plenty of animals, and so I'm not really excited about everything I have to do. But after I take care of myself and my children in the morning, I have 4 dogs to feed, 2 of which are rescue dogs, and 4 cats to feed, 2 of which are rescue cats. You met a couple of cats yesterday, and if we're lucky on my journey through my house today, you may see another couple more. But in the meantime, there are more animals, believe it or not. That's why I call this his zoo. And since he's not here to stop me, I'm going to show you what I do in the morning when he's not here. So I'm going to start with the fish tank that he keeps in our dining room. When I get up in the morning, first thing I do is I turn the light on, and then I go down under here to get the fish food. But before I give him the fish food, I'm going to tell you what I do at night. You see this ugly, disgusting little pail? At night, I have to put 2 cubes of bloodworms in here and let them thaw and mix them with the water and feed them to the fish. So I do that at night too. Disgusting. So that goes back under here. Here is the fish food. Now I have to be careful not to give them too much, because otherwise I get a little algae growing on the tank. And Stewart's going to yell at me because I've got some growing downstairs, I think. So, anyway, so they're happy. Now, that's the start of my morning routine. Let me grab my water, because I've got a lot more. Come on down with me. I'm going to show you. Oh, here's Sapphire. You haven't met Sapphire yet. Sapphire is actually a male cat, but he got named Sapphire, and a lot of people think that's a girl's name. Sapphire is a snowshoe Siamese and is a rescue cat. So he's not doing anything too fancy, but he's one of our more intelligent animals. Down in the basement, which is interesting because we have lots of our personal effects down here, and also we have our consultation area. I have, first of all, of course, the cat condo. Now, these are Stewart's betta fish, and every once in a while one dies and he buys more. In here I keep a plethora of things for all the things I have to do. So I start out with the betta food. I can only give a half a pinch to each one per my instructions, otherwise we get algae. In this tank, turn the light on, and that's the fish's signal that it's time to eat. Now, before I do this, I want to show you this little gem. This is an alligator head that my youngest son wanted when we were visiting New Orleans long before Hurricane Katrina. And we have had people down here who have told us that this is the reptilian head that we bow and pray to every day. So if you hear that on the internet, I want you to know that you have personally seen the reptilian head that they're talking about. So anyway, so I move this over here, and I get the shrimp pellets, because in here it comes out for Stewart, but not for me. He's got a blue lobster, otherwise known as a crayfish. He likes to think it's a lobster. And they get these little pellets. So he lives in this stone structure, but I put them around because he also digs into the sand as well. And after I feed the blue lobster, aka crayfish, then I have another kind of food. These are the tropical flakes, and these go for the big fish. You can see them darting around. See the algae? I'm going to get yelled at for that most likely. And I feed these guys. That takes care of that tank. And oh, great alligator or reptilian head, whatever you are, there you go. There, you saw me pray and bend to the alligator head yourselves. Must be true. Okay, this next tank has got frogs. I don't know where my frogs are. And I put water in there for them. If it gets low, he likes to keep it dirty, I guess, because it makes it kind of swampy. But the frogs are in hiding, And then in this little place is a lizard, and they will come out for crickets. But I don't have any this morning. And I won't mention names or reasons why, Mr. Cameraman. I was hoping to have crickets so then everything would come out. But you will understand, we do feed them crickets. And when I do, let me show you, I have to give them calcium powder. So it's a very complicated process, as you can see. In this tank, we have hermit crabs. Now, we don't know if they're freshwater or saltwater. That's what they tell us when you buy hermit crabs. So one side of the water is salt and one side is fresh. And when it gets low, I have to put salt in one and fill up both with water. So this is my morning routine on this part of the house, after the 4 dogs, after the 4 cats. In this room, which I won't make you come with me, I have cat litter boxes. So that's what I'm going to do next. So I'll be right back. Okay, hi. I'm back up here in the kitchen now. I didn't want you to have to see all the messy end of it, even though, of course, we all know it exists and just usually not talked about. But I want to introduce you to Stewart's favorite dog, or his favorite part of the zoo. This is Natasha. And Natasha's a husky, and they don't like to bark, believe it or not. They like to run, but I like to make her speak. So let's see if she'll do it for me. Speak. 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 Good girl. Okay. Sit. 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 Now these are my elk hounds. This one, I used to have one when I was a little girl. And now I'm a big girl. Good girl. Oops. Sit. I don't like it. Don't grab it. No. Be good. Be good. No. Good. Okay. Don't want to lose my fingers. That's Elkie. And she was a 50th birthday present to me from Stewart. And this is Buddy. He is a rescue dog. Sit. He was, sit, sit. He was abused and used as a bait dog. Sit. See if he'll sit for me. Good boy, good boy. He's a good boy. Good boy. Can't do too much with him because he was abused, but he was really, he is a good dog. And the elk hounds are wonderful watchdogs. And Natasha, of course, is a wonderful dog for running, and that's about it. So anyway, I just wanted to introduce you to some more of our menagerie, Stewart's Zoo. We won't tell him I've done this part of the podcast. That'll be our secret. Anyway, next off, I want to take you to my cooking area of the kitchen and show you a little bit more fun food facts. So come over here, 2 steps over. Now, last time you remember, I talked to you about our friend, the watermelon, which was related to a cucumber. Well, I told you also that all part of the watermelon is edible, including the rind. So I did half of the watermelon last time, and I want to show you something that I was thinking about doing, which I did, and it turned out really good. So I took the rind, because it's all edible, remember. Now the outer part is a little tough. It is edible, but it's tough, and I tasted it, and I thought, you know what, I really don't want to be chewing on that. So I cut that part of the rind away. I actually threw out the dark green part, but it's probably very good for you. So like maybe if you were juicing, that might be something that you would want to include in your vegetable juice. And then I took a jar of dilled jalapeno peppers. Now these I got from Cindy, our organic grower, which you all know about. She puts them in this brine that she makes. And then I also took some bread and butter pickled brine. And that, Cindy makes this with stevia leaf. So there is no added sugar, no carbs other than the vegetables. So these are actually very good. And I took these last week and I put them in here. Now, when I took them out, I have sampled them and they are delicious. You cut them, listen, they're still crispy. I did not cook them before. They're very, very good. These are spicy and these are the bread and butter ones. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is a fun fact is because, see, it's crispy as well. They're both good. This is your bread and butter and this is your dilled. If you have pickles at home that you like, and I recommend Bubby's, they have sweet pickles as well as dill pickles, and after you're done with the pickles, rather than dump the brine, if you have an organic watermelon, or if you have other organic vegetables, you can make your own pickles. And again, it doesn't have to be difficult. Cooking and eating doesn't have to be difficult. You can make it fun and inventive. So I want to show you some other products I've gotten from Cindy. These are bread and butter cauliflower pieces. So you can take that and you can put it in your brine. This happens to be cabbage, and you can see she's put some spices in there. She has a little bit of red pepper flakes, so it's a little spicier. You can put that in your pickle brine. This is a jar of peppers, and she's got garlic in there. You can put those in your pickle brine. And finally, this is like a combo. You can mix and match. So I've had these soaking, they become pickles. Now these aren't going to keep if they're refrigerated. They will not keep as long as if you can them. But these are fresh and they're crunchy. You can also put cucumbers in there as well, fresh whole cucumbers. A lot of people will cut up things like I looked up recipes just for fun. They'll cut up the watermelon rind and then they'll cook them on their stove in some kind of liquid. I don't want to really cook them any more than I have to. I like them as fresh and crispy and raw as possible. So I take them just like they are and put them in the jar. So I thought you would enjoy that little tip of something that you can do easily for yourself. It's kind of fun, you know, if you have people, again, I always say if you have people over or, you know, company, or maybe you take them into your workplace and share. It's fun to eat something different, because what does food represent? Food represents what you're putting in your mind. And if you're putting something different in your body that's good and healthy, that means you're putting something different in your mind and you're starting a new mind pattern, something that's healthy for yourself. So always keep that in mind. So as long as I'm showing you different things, I'm going to wash my knife off first because I had it in that pickle brine. I'm going to show you another watermelon, which is also an heirloom variety that I got from Cindy. And I'm also going to do something with this watermelon, because the rind, because what I want to do is I want to try fermenting it, which I've mentioned last time. I've shown you before how to ferment your vegetables. It's very easy. So I'm not going to go into that again, but you can look that up on YouTube. This is a yellow golden watermelon. And remember what I told you, it's more closely related to the cucumber than it is to a cantaloupe, and I showed you all about that last week. But this is different, has a little bit different flavor, believe it or not. And again, it's just fun because it is different. I'm going to set that one aside. And then I want to show you these peaches that I got from Cindy. These are called Saturn peaches, which I think that's appropriately named. These are an older variety. A lot of people are not familiar with them. I'm going to dip this in my hydrogen peroxide water bath for just a second and rinse it before I cut it. Because I want to show you inside. It is a nice white fleshed peach, and it's very, very sweet and not high in carbs. So organic heirloom type varieties, believe it or not, are lower in carbs than those that have been genetically modified as a general rule. So I just want to put that out there as a general rule. So, you know, you may not be able to find this in your area, but it's just fun to know what's out there, what exists, what's available here in the U.S., and with some creativeness, you're going to find some interesting and unique foods in your area. And if you do, let me know, because I'm always interested in what's out there and what you're doing with things. Go to the forum, www.expansions.com/forums. Sign in. There's one for health and recipes and nutrition. Put your information in there, because I do go on and read it, and I want to hear what you're doing. And if you do try what I'm talking about, then let me know your results, because that's how we learn and interact and share. So this is Diane Mourglia-Swerdlow, thanking you for joining me on another day of Fun Food Facts.